as women, sometimes I think we are waiting for our man to show up on a white horse, our white knight in shining armor, and show up and do everything for us, to pursue us like we are the best thing that they have ever laid their eyes on. Yes, like that is what we are secretly or not so secretly pining for. But the reality is that they will do that very willingly if we are the object of their desire. And what I mean by that is we have to be working towards becoming the woman that is worthy of that pursuit. And not worthy in the sense that you are not worthy until you do these things, but because you are worthy as a human being, as a woman created by God. You are more than worthy of the admiration given to you. But you also need to be working on yourself to be that person that would attract the kind of person who would show up for you in that way. Yes. And so this is what we are talking about today. We are talking about 3 steps that you can take to become a woman worthy of a man pursuing her. And hi, if we've never met yet, my name is Laura Jean. I'm the founder of Let's Be Saints Co. And I am excited to talk to you today because I talk to women all the time and I help them become the leading ladies of their own lives. And when they become the leading ladies of their own lives, their lives open up for them. They become full and whole and full of freedom, and they're in a place where they can begin, continue, or thrive in a relationship that leading to marriage will have them living holy and happy marriages that get them to heaven eventually, which is the goal, right? And so if you are new here, welcome. I'm so glad to see you. And if you are listening again, hello, what's up? I'm so glad you're back for more. And like I said, today we're going to talk about these 3 things. Now, before we dive into those 3 things, I want to quickly read you a quote from Venerable Fulton Sheen. Venerable Fulton Sheen was a really cool dude. He was a bishop, and he has this quote that is so powerful. And it says this: "To a great extent, the level of any civilization is the level of its womanhood. When a man loves a woman, he has to become worthy of her. The higher her virtue, the more noble her character, the more devoted she is to truth, justice, goodness, the more a man has to aspire to be worthy of her. The history of civilization could actually be written in terms of the level of its women." I mean, period. We could be done here. But truly, I love this quote for so many reasons. But the main one being that he is, yes, agreeing that we have worth and we have this dignity that requires a man to come in and become worthy of us. But he also acknowledges that it is not a passive situation on the woman's end. We have to be active in developing our virtue, developing our noble character, being the woman who is worthy of a man pursuing her. Okay, so it's never just a sitting back on our heels, waiting for a man to show up at our door while we've done nothing in the meantime. Okay, this is really important. So we are going to talk about these 3 things that we talk about today are going to be from that perspective. From that perspective of we are not sitting on our heels and expecting this princess treatment where we've done nothing. Because like I said at the beginning, we have dignity. We are worthy of this pursuit, no matter what we do. But we become more worthy of it when we are on our own journey of healing and doing what we ought to be doing and becoming the leading lady of our lives. You know, it's really important to realize that. And the other thing that's really important to realize, and when we're experiencing this, is that the princess mentality is like a total fallacy, okay? Because truly, if a man sees that a woman is worthy of this admiration and of all of this effort, and he goes and he does all of these things, but she still sits and doesn't do anything, he's going to lose interest, and that is not going to be a good situation for either of them. Okay, so what I want to bring to our attention here is a word. It's complementarity. And the word complementarity means that there are two parts and they work in unison in a way that they're not the same, that come together and just are more of the same. It's just more quantity, but instead they come together and they create a whole. So there are things that are different in men and women, in the way that our psychology is, in the way that our mentality is, in the way that we show up to in the world, are fundamentally different. And yes, every person is different and unique, which means these different things can ebb and flow and create kind of their own equation of this plus this minus this, right? We create our own equation in each of us. But there are things biologically and psychologically that women tend to have more of, are driven by, and same thing with men, but they are different. Yes. So when we have them come together, this complementarity of men and women is really what we want when we say, I have all of these things as a woman. I am like ready and I want to give my love to a man, and he comes along and he does his part. He's pursuing and he's showing up and he's showing us that he's ready. Then we then are activated and we are ready to pour back into him in the ways that we are complementary. And when we come together in this complementarity, we have this unity, this union that really enables love to foster and to grow, and for new life and new love to come from this union. And that, teamwork is really important. And so I just want to bring that to our attention, that this is not something passive on our side as women, and it is not active in the same way it's active for men, but that it is different, but also active. Yes? Okay. So with that, and teamwork being the goal, and both of these complementarity, it coming together and becoming teammates and both willing to do this and this, right? In nature, we see this ebb and flow everywhere, okay? We see it in the ocean with the moon, with the tides going in and out. We see it with the days. We see the sun come up and the sun go down, and the sun come up and the sun go down. We see this ebb and the flow in so many aspects of nature, and this is also true in human beings. We have this ebb and this flow. If we were two of the same thing coming together, we'd give and it's just kind of like, well, now we just have a lot of this thing. But when a man comes and gives this and a woman comes and gives this, they have this amazing thing that continue to grow, right? They have different things, they come together and they are ebbing and flowing, and they are in this dance that allows them to live their lives in the way that they were created to. And it's really, really beautiful. So with these in mind, these are the three steps to become the woman worthy of a man pursuing her. And like we said, not worthy from ground zero, that we're not worthy and we have to become worthy, but to become even more worthy of that. Okay, number one is to commit to being the leading lady in your own life. What does this mean? A leading lady is the main character of her life. Okay, and she is not a side character letting other people or circumstances write her story for her. She is sitting in that main character seat. Life is happening around her and she is engaging with it. She is part of her own life. And it's not so far as a grasping of control. It's not so far as now I get to control every outcome or control how, every interaction. Instead, it's more of this picking up a pen, okay? If our life is a story, Okay. And we are writing our story every single day because we're doing different things every day. We're writing our life story. The leading lady has control over the pen. Okay. It's not someone else having the pen and writing her story for her. It's not a circumstance writing the story for her, but it's her holding the pen of her own life. And the author of the story, the way that the woman knows what to write next, is coming from God, her creator. But as God is a creator and we are made in the image and likeness of God, we are too called to be creative. And part of that creativity is co-creating our lives with the Lord, co-creating this story. And so as we're writing the story of our lives by the decisions that we make every day, by stepping into that leading role as also taking responsibility for our lives, for our actions, our words, whatever that looks like, and taking responsibility and accountability for the ways that we are showing up in our lives and in other people's lives, it enables us to write this story with the Lord, to co-create our lives with the Lord. So committing to being this leading lady in your own life is really important, because like that quote said from the very beginning when I talked about from Fulton Sheen, the more noble her character, the more committed she is to truth, justice, and goodness, right? This is what we're doing. We're taking ourselves and our story seriously enough where we're not sitting back and letting circumstances or other people kind of write our story for us, but we are engaging. We are being active in our lives, and we are looking at everything around us, and we're choosing what to take in and keep and what to reject and what direction we're walking. And hopefully we're all doing this with the Lord in mind, with his plan for us in mind as our guide. Okay, that's really important. So that's the first thing. The second thing is letting go of control. Okay, this might seem a little bit contradictory to the first point, but in fact, it's very complementary. Okay, remember that word. So letting go of control, and it doesn't mean letting go of all control. No, but practicing letting go of a part of control in your life, because when you are in a relationship or when you get married, you cannot be holding so tightly to control in every aspect. It's going to strangle love. It's going to strangle that connection. And so what you need to be practicing now and every day of your life truly is letting go of some of the control in your life, so that we're not grasping, so that we're not saying, you know what, I want to do it this way, Lord, right? So part of that, what it looks like, can really be praying more often with the Lord and being like, hey, where do you want to go? Like, I have an inclination of where I want to go in my life, okay? But I am working on letting go of that control, because I trust you, I trust your plan, and I want to follow your will. And so by letting go of a little bit of that control in terms of the outcomes of your life and controlling your outputs, right? What you can control going out, your actions, but releasing control of the outcome, whatever that looks like in the end, is going to set you up for so much success. Okay, first of all, just huge. But secondarily, when we're talking about being in a place where we are becoming worthy of a relationship, if we are holding so tightly to control in all aspects of our lives, and we are, for example, becoming too independent with that. And listen, I know the argument for independence as women in today's day and age, we have to be independent to survive this world. And men are like, hey, you got to be more dependent and all these. I get it. Okay. It's very messy. It's very confusing. But when we are independent because we need to be, letting go of some of that control, so that if and when a man comes in and wants to provide something for us, wants to give us, wants to show up for us in that way, we can let go of that control and we can receive, right? That's really important. Now, so remember, number one was to commit to being the leading lady of your life. Number 2 is letting go of control. And number 3 is be putting in the work. Be putting in the work. I like to think of this as the effort golden rule. Okay, you know how the golden rule is, treat someone as you would wish to be treated. Okay, I like to think of effort that way. If you are expecting or wanting effort from a person, you have to be giving that effort in the same or more, right? You want to be showing up with effort in the same way or more than you want to receive back in effort. Okay, so as a woman, we are not the pursuers, but our receptivity is very active. But until that's activated, until there is a pursuit, there's other ways that we can be putting in our effort, like committing to being the leading lady in your life, like focusing on your character, focusing on growing that virtue of truth and nobility and justice and goodness, right? By doing all of that, putting in the effort to make yourself that good soil for whatever effort might be coming in, and enabling that love to flower and flourish when it does come is really important, isn't it? So I want you to be thinking of those things. So again, those 3 things are: number 1, commit to be the leading lady of your own life. Number 2, let go of control. And number 3, be putting in the work. The effort golden rule, remember that. And if you are looking for ways to learn more about exactly what to do, I am hosting a bridesmaid to bride challenge where we're really going from the side character in our lives to always being seen as the bridesmaid because this is how we're treating ourselves, to being the person who is capable of being the bride, to being the person who is in somewhat control and in the driver's seat of their own lives, being the leading lady, being the main character, and how to do that. And we're going to talk about the 3 sneaky beliefs that are holding us back, what are actually keeping us in this so that we can actually move forward into this. It's a 3-day live event, virtual. I encourage you to check it out and join us so that you too can step into being that leading lady in your own life. I'm cheering for you.